So, the Noteblock. I'm sure you all know about it. I'm sure there's better ways to improve the Noteblock and better things Mojang can do with it to make these song creations a lot easier. So these are my ideas that I have been sort of collecting throughout the past week or so on how to improve this block. So here's some of the ideas that I've gotten throughout this past few days. Normal traditional Noteblock working, you'd have to go constantly press it again and again just to get the right pitch that you'd like. Say I'm doing a test here, and oh, that hey block is on the wrong pitch, and oh, now the emerald is on the wrong pitch. I think you get what I'm saying, basically. So my first idea is basically a way to improve on how you find the right pitch, basically, when you are editing Noteblock. So I think it can be greatly improved upon just doing this again and again. I don't really think that's a very fundamental and really clever way to use these Noteblocks as best as they can. Really, it's pretty primitive, I'd say. Sure, it's basic, I guess. It makes sounds, but it can be greatly improved upon this. So some of the ideas that I've had in mind, one of the ideas I had was you crouch and hold crouch and right click, and when you do that, that'll open up a menu or a GUI or something, like similar to how when you get a villager. Oh, that's right. I'm not used to 1.4 today. You get what I'm saying, at least. It's similar to when you open up a villager trading GUI. It'll be something similar to that. I've made an example, and that should be on the screen. You've got a test button and pitch adjust button on the left and right. And then when you're done with that, you just press the OK button, test button as well, and you can just still use the normal. Press the right click. That'll still do it as well. And that's my first idea. So the next example that I've had is not as useful or user friendly as my last example. It's a bit similar to how name tags would work. So there's the pig. He's called Dumb Idiot. The example that I have is that when you go up to a note block, the name would show up at the top, similar to this pig, but it will show what pitch the current note block is at and what the sound is as well. So if it's an emerald, it would say emerald, and then the pitch number on the right side of it. Useful as well to tell you the information, but it's not as user friendly as my first example. The next idea that I have, and I'm not sure how this would be done. My idea is one of the things that I believe is limiting the Noteblock in a way is plays the sound once, basically. See, it doesn't really hold the note, it's just instant, you see. So what I think would be a cool idea, but I'm not sure how Mojang would implement it, but my idea is basically to hold a note, for example. So instead of just playing instant, it will hold the note. I'm not sure how to explain this, but here's an example that I've made on FL Studio, basically, with the basic piano key, just to give off an example. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not sure how Mojang would do it. One of the ideas I had was if a trapdoor was on the top of it, but still I'm a bit unsure on how that would... Oh wait, hang on, I can't shut that off because... is that... No, okay. Well, okay, what I was gonna say is if it had a trapdoor, it will give you the option, trapdoor on the side or the top, whatever, it would hold the note So since trapdoors didn't work, my next example is going to be if you were to push a constantly active redstone device or something like a redstone block, if you push that next to it, for example, and it would hold the note while the block is next to the note block, for example. So while the redstone block is next to the red note block, it will continuously hold that note until it's no longer next to it. So I'm going to fake this to make the example more clear. Yeah, so there you go. So while that redstone block was next to the note, instead of it playing once, I think a cool way to expand on note block creative songs in Minecraft is if you were to be able to hold a note with something like this while a redstone source or whatever the hell it's called is constantly next to it. Another idea that I've had, it might not be as useful since note blocks are used with a certain block underneath it to create a sound, but I still think it's got some use. So my next thought is to be able to dye note blocks. Let's just say, you got this, and you can tell obviously, oh, this is the drum section of the song that I'm making, and this is the synth section of the song I'm making, because this is on emerald blocks and they make those sounds, and these are on white concrete, and that makes the drum sound. It can be obvious when you look at the blocks like that, but I think it would help note block song creators if they were able to dye note blocks, just simply because it helps differentiate stuff more. Yes, you can see at the bottom of this, but the note blocks still look the same. If you look at it from the top, it's a bit difficult to tell which is which. And I don't make note block songs myself. I'm sure note block creators, they fly around, they see, they check if their timings are correct or whatever. And obviously their note block songs are obviously a lot much bigger than this, and that is the main idea where I got this, because note block creators, their stuff's huge, and one of the ideas where I got this from is how people, they make redstone and all that rubbish. I shouldn't say rubbish, but they get their wool colors. They get let's get a orange one, just a blue one, just for an example. They get all their they make their contraptions with a bunch of, they get their wool around it, they just to differentiate their circuits. They do that to separate their circuits from one another, so when they look at it just from a glance, they know that what am I building? They know from a glance that, oh, this circuit is the blue circuit here is a snoring whatever that thing is called, and the orange circuit pushes that. I wish that was a lot more visible and easier to tell with note blocks. Yeah, you could argue, no, the stuff here, the blocks that they're placed on, is what that wool is used for. But I don't know. I personally don't feel like that's clear enough. In creative, it might be. But if someone wanted to make a note block song in survival, I'm sure that would help them quite a bit more. But out of all my suggestions, this probably is one that I can't really defend as much, just because, as I said, they are on specific blocks that make that sound. But I still think dyeable note blocks is quite handy. Have this circuit here, pink dye, and this one yellow. What's that, pink? No, purple. I have the synth purple, the drums yellow, and to create it will be obviously like how you make glass. You just do it like that, and that's that for that suggestion. That's all my ideas that I've had lately for how they can improve on the current note block, you know, outside of just you know, placing it down and just, you know, whacking it and whacking it. You know, they're sitting there, they're whacking it and they're whacking it. Oh, that's horrible. But you know, I'm sure there's so much better ways to improve on this really cool block outside of, you know, finding the right pitch. Oh, jeez, I just missed the pitch that I wanted. You got to go through the whole cycle again. You know, that's mainly where these ideas came from, and I'm sure that would be very annoying. And there's so much that can be improved on this block. So that's my ideas, my 3 ideas to improve. You know, I haven't really done a video like this before. It's very weird and awkward. I'm used to screaming in the microphone like a animal, but I want to do more videos like this, I guess, you know, thoughts and things and stuff. I don't usually get to ramble about stuff without people telling me to be quiet, so glad I did this, I guess. But yeah, that's my ideas for this thing.